Your hotel room will feel just like home with Wi-Fi from Airangel. Find out what that's all about when I interview my guest today, Irvin Aldridge from Airangel. Join us right after this short message. All right, everybody, we're back with another episode of Wi-Fi Now TV. My name is Klaus Hetting, and this, of course, is the show that brings you all the stories and not least all the great people from across the Wi-Fi industry. And today we're going to be talking about Wi-Fi for hospitality and MDUs. And if you don't know what the short form MDU means, we're going to tell you in just a moment when I interview Irvin Aldridge of UK-based Wi-Fi company Airangel. They're doing a lot of exciting stuff in this space. And I'm delighted to introduce from Airangel, Irvin Aldridge. Irvin, welcome to the show. Delighted to have you.
Great. It's great to be on the show, Klaus. Thanks for having us on.
Irvin, give us the quick introduction to Airangel. I know you guys are working very strong in the area of hospitality MDUs. We're going to cover that a little bit deeper, at a little bit more detailed level, but just give us the general intro first.
Yeah, so we are a hospitality business, I guess, deep down. We've been operating Wi-Fi in hotels and managed service for 13 years. And over that time, we've developed our own platform. So we are now deployed across 27 countries. We have about 15 million registrations. Authentications, we're taking about 13,000, 14,000 an hour at this kind of time of night. So we're onboarding guests that are visiting hotels and trying to remove friction from their journey. So no, it's about the guest experience for us.
So a lot of users, a lot of traffic on your system. How long, for how many years have you guys been working at this?
Well, we've been offering Wi-Fi for about 13 years, and we started building out our own platform because the platforms that were out there that we started on weren't doing the right kind of things that we needed specifically for hospitality. So for the last 3 or 4 years, we've been investing in building our own platform out of the UK. We've got a UK dev team. It's pretty exciting stuff.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So tell us a little bit about this hotel home experience, because I know you guys have been working hard on that, and I think it's really exciting, but just explain to our viewers what that means.
Yeah, so I guess we're at an interesting time in the development of vendor Wi-Fi, and we have a lot of experience with Ruckus. Ruckus have a fantastic API, so we've been able to integrate our solution, our platform, with the latest technology. And one of the top complaints that we hear from our customers, from hotel guests out in the industry, is that they get sick of registration. They get sick of entering their details 2 or 3 times per stay to get online to the Wi-Fi. And they get annoyed with having to do that at every hotel that they visit, whether it's in the same brand. You know, you stay at 2 or 3 different Marriott hotels, maybe you've got different providers, you've got to register each time. That gets frustrating for guests. But we also know that guests are traveling with multiple devices now. So they want to turn up at a hotel and they want to have that home experience. You know, I've got Netflix on my phone. I don't want to have to navigate some crappy UI on a TV using a remote control to get some content that I want to watch. You know, I want to bring it with me and I want to try and stream to the TV. But trying to do that in a hotel, it's impossible. You know, the networks are designed to be secure. They're not designed to be able to enable that kind of functionality. So what we've been able to do using these APIs is develop a functionality that allows a user to create their own private, secure, personal network within the hotel that follows them between properties, right? So we have the ability to roam between a group of properties within the same brand. You set this up once, and then it follows you time and time again. There's no portal pages. It's secure. You can bring your Chromecast. You can bring your Xbox. You can plug it right into the TV. And then you can stream your Netflix, your Amazon, whatever it may be, your own content onto the TV in the room. And you get that great home-from-home experience. So, you know, we're seeing interest bringing that solution to hospitality.
It's a fantastic idea, which makes me wonder why hasn't anybody thought of that before. But you guys have obviously thought of it.
It's hard to do. Yeah,
it's hard to do.
Tough. We recognize, you know, we're close to our customers. We have a managed services division, so we take calls from customers regularly. So we're close to our customers. But we also work with an organization of hospitality group called HTNG. They solve problems and look at particular issues within the hospitality industry, and we're really proud and pleased to be a part of that, contribute to solving problems, really getting wide and close with the guys from some of the big brands across the world.
So where can we experience the home hotel experience? And generally speaking, how has the market been receiving this?
Yeah, really well. So we have this deployed in a couple of locations in the UK. We've also, you alluded earlier on how this might be transitioning into other segments that we're working in. So using the same technology, if we talk about MDU, these multiple dwelling units. So there's a progression from hospitality and hotels. You get these extended stay apartments, right? So people come and stay maybe for 2 or 3 weeks, up to 3 months, but then you get into private residential apartments as well. And a lot of these features, these private area networks, people are looking to get that experience in those locations. So we've been trying to find ways of making that available to people, to operators of these private residential apartments that typically wouldn't have been able to offer, day one connectivity for residents. If they're dealing with visitors who are coming from abroad who maybe can't sign up to contracts, if you're signing up with a Sky or a Virgin Media or a Vodafone, they want you to be resident. They want you to have a contract for a year. So what we found is that there's a real sweet spot within MDU, within residential, that we can target, and we're able to provide day one connectivity, a little bit like an ISP, but we put the control in the building owner and the building operator rather than having to put it in the control of the individual, the renter of the apartment.
So this is fairly unusual in the sense that you're actually kind of taking the role of an ISP and then expanding your role, of course, to include value-added Wi-Fi in this sense, right? I'm not familiar with this model from other players.
I guess we solve the problem. We're not particularly interested in being an ISP. What we want to deliver is a great experience to the end user, whether they're a hotel guest, whether there's a private renter, whether it's a student that's just moving into an apartment. So we give the opportunity for the building owner, the operator, the management company, they can invest, they purchase the bandwidth, they make it available to their entire building. And what we offer is a layer of intelligence across the top of that. So we give them the flexibility, that an admin console that they can work in, that's easy to use. It's not terrifying like trying to get into a controller on a wireless system. It's just something that an administrator can manage. They can create these private networks. They can generate keys by entering, clicking one button and entering an email address for a new resident. The resident gets the information and they can connect on day one into their private network. You can set bandwidth. Maybe everybody gets 20 by 20 when they first arrive. But there's a self-service option to upgrade. So if somebody wants to have 100 by 100, if there's the ability to have a gig, then we can give the ability for that intelligence layer to come across the top of the wireless and the individuals, the guests, the residents to be able to self-service that.
Have you already deployed some of this in the UK, for example? I'm just guessing here.
MDU PRS is really new for us. So we have a project live right now. So they are the first Rocker student moved in this week. So it is hot. It is hot topic. Watch this space for a case study, but it's a bit early for us to be talking about it.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of folks that I speak to in the Wi-Fi industry are really talking about MDUs now. And until about 6 months ago, I think even less, maybe 3 months ago, I had not heard that term used before. I'm embarrassed to say. But it is a hot area, right? It's a growing area, being able to provide managed Wi-Fi services to MDUs. There's a need for that, clearly.
Yeah. In the past, the way of doing it was not elegant. It wasn't easy to get bandwidth into these places. It wasn't easy to retrofit. Individuals and residents had to go out and find an ISP for themselves. They might move in. It might take 6 weeks before they get something installed. Right. Maybe those issues I alluded to earlier where they can't get a contract. This is an easier way to give people a good experience. And I think in some of these PRS settings, a lot of the operators, the upmarket operators, are looking at hotels and high-end hotels, and are being inspired and want to provide additional services to people in these properties. So whether it's laundry services, whether it's food, whether it's cleaning, if they can organize Wi-Fi, day one connectivity, and they get the upside, there's a return on investment for the operators. They're not giving away all of that benefit to the ISPs in this case. They can become the ISP, and we enable that for them.
Some great innovation here from Airangel. I really like it. So I need to challenge you just a little bit, Irvin, because there's a lot of cloud managed Wi-Fi companies out there. And I know you're very specialized or beginning to be more specialized and so on. But what is the secret sauce for you guys? How do you, obviously we've talked about some of the solutions. Do you have a philosophy that you like to pursue?
Our focus, we have been laser focused on hospitality for 13 years. And slowly the hospitality industry has come around, driven by mobile devices and the demand of their guests, that Wi-Fi is absolutely essential. And we really put the guest at everything we do. So with every customer that we work with, we put the guest, the resident, the user at the center of it. And for us, it's about reducing friction. We try and reduce friction wherever possible. We want to make the authentication process as painless as possible. We've been working on a centralized authentication system, which sits above, current gateway providers of terminology for hospitality. A hotel operator maybe has 27 different managed service providers that have 27 different ways of authenticating guests in their hotels, 27 different ways of authenticating, and that gets frustrating for guests, for loyal brand customers who maybe buy like a stranger at every one of those branded hotels that they visit. But we can offer a layer above that. So we are an authentication provider. We can bring that together. We can give a single experience. And that's how we separate ourselves off, I think, from other providers in the market. Mm-hmm. We built on the cloud. We leverage on-site equipment. We have a hybrid approach. So we have the power to be able to be clever and tackle difficult problems, which there are plenty of within hospitality. You have big events. You have high demand on bandwidth. It's not like retail. Retail's easy because you get people coming in. They connect. Maybe they connect. More often they don't connect. But they're not really demanding in terms of the bandwidth that they're going to be using. As soon as you start coming into hotels, you have high-end hotels, you've got luxury hotels, these international hotels, then very quickly you get into complicated scenarios and requirements, whether it's about premium tiers for charging for bandwidth, whether you're trying to restrict the amount of bandwidth people can download, the volume, whatever the permutation of control that maybe a hotelier or an operator has, then we have the ability to operate within those without making it too complicated for the guests.
All right, very good. Irvin, I wanted to ask you a little bit about consumer engagement, because this has been a buzzword, I think, across the Wi-Fi industry for a while now, and there's numerous companies, numerous service providers that are doing this in various ways. Do you have a view on how to get that right, if it's possible to get that right? And can you share with us perhaps some of the tricks of the trade, if you will?
Yeah, so engagement is tricky, because there's this trade-off to make, right, between pushing something down, your guests' throat, making them see something that maybe they're not that interested in. People, when they generally arrive at a hotel, they want to connect within 7 minutes. There was research released this year that shows a guest typically will connect to Wi-Fi within 7 minutes of arriving on property. So that shows you how important it is to a guest. And it won't take them long to check out if you don't have Wi-Fi, if it fails. We see that as well. So you've got this trade-off to make between, okay, how much information do I want to try and get from this guest? How easy do I want to make it to get them connected? And how much am I prepared to annoy them by either disconnecting them or presenting them with some kind of marketing page that maybe they're not interested in at all? Generally, people want to get connected because they want to FaceTime the kids. They've got emails that they've got to get done for work, and they want to hit the bar or maybe the gym if they're so important. So it's a really difficult trade-off to make. So we're lucky. We have a lot of customers that really don't want to interrupt that guest journey. And our focus, again, is around the guest and not interrupting, and really having a sensitive approach about providing information maybe when it's useful to them. So we have an injection technology, and it's not a new technology, but we use it in a different way. So this technology can be used to do things that are maybe not too subtle. You can present a full screen video. You can present banner advertisements. But very quickly, if you with great power comes great responsibility. If you start shoving these things across the screen, then people are going to get upset pretty quickly. But we found if we focus that technology to really target and present services that hotel has that are useful to the guests. So maybe it's an online ordering service for food. Maybe they can book a spa treatment, or they can book tables in the restaurant. If hoteliers particularly, or MDU providers have got something useful that they can share with the customer, then we can give them a method for injecting that content into a small bar that's inobtrusive, that can be closed, but it's there every time. It's persistent, that people can see it when they maybe want to interact. And they don't have to look in the binder in the hotel to try and find some crazy URL link that they've got to type into their computer to then get back to some kind of ordering page that the hotel has.
Sounds very thoughtful, super intelligent, and totally cool. And I'm happy that we're discussing this subject, because there's so much out there, also hype surrounding, how to engage people in various ways. And I couldn't agree with you more that sort of this unobtrusive, useful things that you can send to people, it makes a lot more sense, especially when the nature of what a hotel visit is about, right? Mostly. So I'm very happy that you bring these points up. It's very good. Can you tell us what's perhaps next for Airangel? Do you have any new big projects, any technologies that you're working on right now to extend your reach?
Yeah, so we have a platform release coming up, a major release early in the new year. We'll have some information to share later on in the year about some of the key features that have come from that. But for us, we're really focusing on this ability to give people this home-from-home experience. So getting that out into the marketplace now. We use the same technology, whether it's hospitality or MDU. We think that's a great, a real sweet spot for us. And equally, taking our capability in our 27 countries that we're in currently, our cloud presence, and really identifying how we can help solve some of the problems, particularly in hospitality, where they have this requirement to give a consistent experience to their brand loyal guests across these potentially 27 other providers that we have. So that's a problem that we are deeply entrenched in sorting for some of our partners. And watch this space. There's some good stuff to come. Great stuff, Irvin. It's so good to have you here. And I should say, by the way, Airangel will be present at and presenting and exhibiting WiFi Now internationally in London, our event coming up next week. I think it's not, next month, I should say. And I don't think it's going to be you. It's going to be another gentleman, but we're delighted. My good colleague, Paul Lockhart. Okay, very good. So we're delighted to have you. And thanks for coming on the show, Irvin, and lots of luck to you going forward. It sounds really good, the stuff you have going there. Wonderful, Klaus. Thank you very much. Thanks. All right, everybody, that's it for today. And don't forget to go to wifinow.international to register for a London event where you get to meet Airangel and many other great companies in Wi-Fi. And join me, of course, next week for another episode with another great guest from the Wi-Fi industry. See you then, and thank you for watching.
Wi-Fi Now is a production of RCR TV News. To suggest a show topic or to learn more about Wi-Fi Now events, you can reach Klaus Hedding at klaus@heddingconsulting.com. To find out more about Wi-Fi Now and all things wireless, visit rcrwireless.com.